All right, welcome to another episode of Overlander Trailer. We haven't done an episode in a little while, and that's mainly because we really haven't had anything to really talk about. The trailer's been pretty much done, but we are to the point now where we want to add a freshwater tank. So whenever we're camping without hookups, we'll have fresh water for our sink and for our sprayer. So today we're going to work on getting the tank installed. Got Chase and Maisie here with me. They're going to be coaching me through the process and probably pointing out the stuff that I'm doing wrong. So we're going to go ahead and get started, and we'll keep you posted along the way. Okay, so this is a 25-gallon freshwater tank picked up on Amazon, and what we're going to do is use this metal strapping to secure it underneath the trailer. Actually, the frame has a couple holes already in place and lined up, so we should be able to bolt it on there pretty nicely, and we'll just kind of see how it goes as far as needing to make some adjustments. Okay, so we're underneath the trailer here, and what I've done is run some of this metal strapping in kind of a V pattern and bolted it into the frame. So this is pretty secure. What I'm going to do is actually put some blocking on each side to keep it from going to the right or to the left, but this should hold it pretty snugly. I might bring in some paracord just to reinforce it and make it really snug, but we'll see. The next step is going to be to actually work on the plumbing on the inside to bring the lines up and into the water pump and then to the sink and sprayer. So keep you posted on how things are going once we get there, and of course I'll also get this all cleaned up too. Okay, so we successfully installed our freshwater tank to include adding a pump to move the water from the tank to the tap. And so what I'm going to do now is walk you through everything that we did. All in all, it's really not a difficult project. I'd say the hardest part really is hanging that tank underneath. So if you're going to do something like this, depending on the size of the tank you're using, you're probably going to need some help. We opted for a 25-gallon tank, and I recruited my two young kids to help me get it in place, and that was a challenge and quite comical. So proved to be fun times and some memories that I'm sure we won't soon forget. So anyway, let's go ahead and take a look at what I've done. To start on the outside, I installed this freshwater valve. You can pick these up on Amazon. I'll put a link to it in the description. You got to make sure you get a freshwater valve that has a drain, a vent. When you're filling this up, the tank underneath specifically says that it needs to be vented to prevent damage to the tank. It could crack, who knows. So you're going to want to get one of these that has this little vent. You can see that right there. And that's actually attached. There's some tubing that comes up to that and then goes down to the tank, which I'll show you in a second. But basically, this just opens up and you pour your water, straight down the tube, and it, that goes in the tank. So let's go ahead and take a look at the inside of, how that looks in here. So in here we've got our plumbing that goes from the outside down into the tank where we fill. This is our vent pipe, and then this is our reinforced tubing that comes up from the tank to the pump itself. And I'll get to what I did with the pump in a second, but first let's take a look underneath, and I'll show you what I did there. Okay, so we're underneath the trailer, obviously, and taking a look at the water lines. First, I got a partner in crime here. This is Westy, the burner. He's hanging out with me, helping me get through this video. So he's just a puppy, 10 months old or 11 months old. So he's kind of chewing on everything down here. Anyway, so this is our main water line. This is where when we pour water into the side of the trailer, it's coming down through here and filling up our tank. This is our vent line, so coming out of the top of the tank, just airflow, and then finally our water line that goes from the pump from the tank to the pump. And for that, you can see I used reinforced tubing. This is, being underneath the trailer, it's susceptible to getting hit by rocks and other debris. So I wanted to keep that as protected as possible. Some other stuff I could have done that with, but it's, it's kind of tucked up in here. I think it's going to be all right. Also got this drain plug, just a standard plug. Picked that up at Lowe's. So, all in all, it's in here pretty well. I used some blocking to keep the tank from moving to the left or right, as I mentioned earlier. And again, you can see the metal strapping I used. This tank is in here, and it's half full of water. So like I said, this is a 25-gallon tank. So there's a considerable amount of weight. It's not moving at all. So I feel pretty confident that that's not going to go anywhere. But let's go up and take a look at the pump and how I set that up, and we'll run you through all that. Okay, so here's what we've got for our pump lines. As you can see, we've got our water line coming up, as I showed you from underneath. That's flowing in to this side of the pump. A couple things about the pump. I did have to buy these little wing nut attachments. They're specifically made by SureFlow. That's who makes the pump, as the right size to screw onto the pump. I also bought this strainer mechanism, and what this does is it actually filters the water from the tank. So if there's any debris in there, whether it's dirt or whatever, it's going to go through this strainer first. And this is pretty cool because you can actually see into here and tell when it's dirty, and just unscrew it and dump out the water, and then you're good to go. So I added those two parts, and I'll put all this in the description. This is SureFlow pump. It was one of the highest rated ones. I think it's pumps 3 gallons a minute. Basically runs on the 12-volt battery, and goes into our fuse box with a 15-amp fuse. So that's what we got there. Another one of these wing nuts over here. One thing I will mention is that they come in packs, or they don't come in packs of 2. They're sold separately. So obviously there are 2 that you'll need. So you make sure you want to buy 2 of those at a time. From there, I've just got this tubing just running through. You're probably noticing these shutoff valves, check valves that I have. I have one here, I have one over here, and one there. And essentially what those are doing is allowing the water, if I'm using the freshwater tank, I can shut off these 2 so that water isn't flowing into my city water port. And then likewise, I can turn this one off when I'm running city water, so I'm not getting city water pumping into my pump. SureFlow does say that there's a check valve built into the pump, so you're not going to get backflow, but the diagram I had recommended doing this, so I kind of figured why not. From here, the line just goes out to our tap on our slide-out kitchen, and then also have it plumbed so that it will go to our sprayer port back here. So we'll be able to run both our tap and our sprayer off our 25-gallon tank. Obviously, 25 gallons will go pretty quick at 3 gallons a minute, but we certainly still have what we need. And one more thing I'll just add is I know I mentioned that I have it wired to the 12-volt battery, but the wiring goes through over around here, and then actually goes up here to a switch that I put in, and that switch just allows me to manually turn the pump on or off. The pump itself has auto shut off, so once the line's primed, it turns off. However, if you have a slightest leak or for whatever reason it's not staying primed like it should, or pressure drops, whatever, the pump's going to automatically kick on. And so I wanted the ability to be able to just shut that off if I wanted. So I put that switch in. Really easy to add that. You might have heard the pump turn on a second ago in the video. And that might be that there's a slight leak somewhere, or it's just maintaining pressure. I'll definitely be keeping an eye out to make sure that that there is not a leak, or we're not getting any water in here. But right now everything looks pretty tight. So definitely pretty happy with the way things came out. One last thing I'll mention in here is I definitely plan to build a kind of a box around this to keep it protected. So that we're throwing camping gear in here, we're not damaging any of our lines. And then this one, obviously, the slide-out kitchen just goes, right over top of it, so that should be fine. But let's go out and take a look at how it works on the tap. Okay, so here we are at the tap, and everything's on. The pump's primed, so we can just go ahead and, man, look at that, we've got water. That's amazing. You can hear the pump running in the background. Shut it off, pump turns off. So I'd say we did well on this one. Quick tip: when you put in these sinks, you have this drain line. Definitely bring a bucket. Otherwise, you're going to end up with a mud pit. I always have a bucket. Just for this project, I'm not going to worry about it. But definitely have a bucket. It's super helpful. Does get heavy, obviously, when it fills up with water. So keep an eye on that. But all in all, that's our water system and how we did it. Again, we do have a sprayer port, which is not hooked up at the moment, right here, which we could plug into, and then we'll have our spray gun, spray hose. So that runs off of our city water and our fresh water as well. So we're in pretty good shape. If you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, good luck, and let me know if you put one of these in yourself. But don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you out there.